5, 4, 3.
Is going on? We're back. 1 week off, and I'm already like, I feel like I'm stuck. Like I don't even know what's going on. We got Hey Archer with us. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. I see some people in the chat already. Mega Demons here, like always. LeBron Fett. You guys have been here early. They don't mess around.
No, they
do not. They do not.
Thank you guys for that.
Salvador, what's up?
What's up, Salvador?
So what's up? We're just gonna get right into this. No, I'm not gonna...
right in. You know, one thing I did notice before we get into this is we got to change my logo from the opening.
Yeah, that opening needs work. Yeah,
we gotta get rid of that. That's the old one. I went the old in with the new. But anyway, what's up, man? What's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, me or Colin?
No, you. I already know how he's doing.
I'm doing good. I'm doing.
Through him. We don't care about that.
I'm doing good. I'm these days I feel like I'm ripping my hair out, whatever's left of it, trying to build a Ghostbusters proton pack. But otherwise, I'm doing good.
Oh, you jumped into that, hey?
It's dangerous, man.
I'll be there eventually.
Beware. I'll say beware.
Not me. I don't need any more problems, so I'm staying out of that. I do love Ghostbusters, but I'm staying out of that.
Yeah, that's something I always wanted, but I just, you look online at like custom ones and stuff, and they were so expensive. I was like, man, do I really want to spend all that money on something like this? And then Hasbro released that one, and then like talking to Dave, he's talking about the spirit ones, and you can customize those up. And after seeing his, I'm like, damn, this is actually doable.
Yeah.
So
I'm doing actually a spirit pack. There's
there's
two different ones. Yeah, go for it, man. It's like the small one. It's the wand is it's a part here. It's small, but I took the wand off, and the pack I got is a smaller version. It's 80%, not a full size, they call it, and it's just fun. You can just do whatever you want, and even like Dave said, it's your pack. So like whatever you want to do, even if it doesn't make sense or not canon, it doesn't matter. People are just, oh, cool, you made one.
Customize it, man. It's all your own. It's one of one. I love it.
It's cool. It's like the people that do their own like Mandalorians, like their own suits or whatever. They kind of customize them how they want.
Yeah, if everybody has the same one, it's boring. Customize it. Do you, man? Put some purple on it. I mean, I put some purple for you tonight. You see that, right?
Hey, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I was saying backstage, I can't get my lights to work. Yeah. So I'm glad you came through the clutch on that one.
See, I'm here for you.
There you go.
We never crossed paths. We never crossed paths. We've talked.
Yeah.
We've crossed paths a little bit, on social media, but this is the first time I actually get to meet you. So it's a pleasure, man. So I'm glad you had the time to come.
Same to both of you. Thank you.
Yeah, man. So
it does seem different without your light, though. I'm gonna have to say.
Yeah. It feels like I'm
feng shui involved.
It feels like I'm in like this is a work call mode. If I got that light going, it'd be there's one light I can change. Hang on.
Oh, here we go.
Do that. It won't be the same, but there's one. Just give me a second here.
Here we go. I can't wait. I'm anticipating this light. Let's do this. Hey, yo, Mega Demon, what's up? Thanks for joining, brother. I know you were first, and we appreciate you.
Oh, he must have left and came back if he's saying what's up again.
Yeah. This is the official.
It's not as visible.
This is the official what's up, because he said what's up backstage.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, he does it twice because that's how he is. He's good. He's good like that.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's off to the side here. It's not as purple.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Disappointment through and through tonight. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. If I turn the light off, it'll even look like there's some purple.
We don't need to get too romantic in here. Holy shit.
It's barely, yeah.
Well, now
we have another mystery guest.
Yeah.
Like you can't be seen. Like we're talking about some under.
Yeah, you put the voice
unit,
a voice changer on.
Who are you?
Yeah, undercover.
So, how's the weather up there in Boston, man? You're right by the water. Is it humid up there? Is it nice? Are you going through the hell we're going through? It's getting better here, but hell we've
for
been
sure it's
through.
getting better. Oh no, it's
Yeah.
getting better. It was the last, I don't know, 2 weeks. It was pretty brutal. Had it was actually wild. We kept getting these like thunderstorms and lightning storms, and I'm driving home the other day, and I see these people like come out of a building, and they're all like looking up in the air, and all of a sudden I'm driving through just like rubble, and I was like, did a lightning bolt hit this building? Sure enough, like not even 30 minutes later on TikTok suggested lightning bolt hit a building in Boston. So
Wow.
it's been wild, but now it seems to be like kind of calming down.
Yeah, we've had some crazy. I know I live close to Delaware, on the Delaware Maryland line, and they had some really wicked winds last week. It tore up my buddy's whole farm up, like where he was.
Damn.
He had corn and everything else. It just was shredded. Everything. They lost a lot of money on that, and it sucks because it was a quick storm too. It lasted no more than like maybe 45 minutes, which is long for a storm, but in reality, 45 minutes to take out a whole farm. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous, but yeah, it kind of sucks for him. But
it's funny you're talking about storms. I was just talking about that recently. Like, I don't remember the last time we had like a legitimate like crazy storm up here, and it used to be a yearly thing.
We never got like storms like tornadoes and shit like that till like the last few years, and we've been getting them like, thankfully, not maybe 30 miles from the house, so we don't see it here. But too close for comfort for sure.
Yeah. Just want to say what up to Sal. He's part of the Nerd Foundation.
Nice.
And Steve Mercado.
Yeah, welcome. Thanks for joining us, guys. We hope you like this enough where you'll come back, even when he's not with us.
I love your Monday morning stuff, and I'm gonna have to admit, like lately, I'm always too late. I get the notification too late, and I'm like, God damn it, they're like done already.
Yeah, and it's a fast show.
And I'm always at work, but I do try to catch it. The last couple of weeks anyway, when I found out about it, try to catch it on replay, but it's just too early for me. Like, I'm at work, so I really can't just sit there and watch.
Yeah. No, but, and that's the thing. It's a weird time slot. But I was like, oh, I could try to make this like a news type thing.
Yeah.
And the other idea I had was I usually I'll wake up, I get ready for work, driving to work. I'm listening to like the news. And then at 9:30 in the mornings when like the stock market opens up. So I was like, oh, what if I did a show that like ended just as the stock market opens? Not that I even talk stock, but I was just
right.
And
we tried the morning thing too on Sundays, and it works, but you gotta. It's a little tougher because a lot of people are on West Coast and they don't want to get up that early. And
I love the whole morning thing. I love the whole morning show type, everything about it. It's just I don't know. It was hard to get, like he said, you can't cater to everybody, and it's just
who knows, man.
It was
knowing
hard.
me and Colin,
being on a Sunday, I think that was.
Knowing me and Colin, we may do an old school show one day and go back to that for a Sunday. You never know. You never know what the hell we're gonna do. We're unpredictable here.
Eat some breakfast on stream.
Have some eggs and bacon.
Yeah, like JB said, nerdy coffee is a great way to start the week. It is.
There you go.
Yeah, I enjoyed my coffee, man. Like in the morning,
I need like
trade that in for a beer.
I just need like a pre-notification so I can get the notification before the notification.
Yeah. You got to make a calendar reminder.
Yeah.
Then the calendar will remind you show starting in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And you can like set the extra notifications too. Like remind me half hour before, remind me 15 minutes before.
Yep, exactly. Yep. It's just weird. Now it's like all toy talk now because since the writer's strike and the actor strike's going on, I try not to talk about anything and promote anything out there because, if they're not promoting their own content, I feel like it's not my place to promote it, so
right
now the show is mainly toys again.
The other thing too is like you never know like where this stuff could take you, I mean, and you don't want to affect you someday down the road. I know, I get it.
Exactly.
I went and I saw the new Ninja Turtle movie on, I don't know, I saw it on the 28th, so whatever, early. And I was like, man, I don't even know if I really want to talk about it because Huh? Whatever.
You never
I'll
know.
just say it was good.
Yeah.
Spoiler free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's welcome JB's Toy Trunk to the chat, and
Yeah.
Duffman just showed up. So thank you
Oh,
guys for
yeah.
joining us. And yeah, man, they're always here, man. So I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of toys, I know we started to you showed us what you just picked up.
Yeah.
Did you pick up a lot of stuff from Comic-Con? A lot of my stuff started rolling in already. I'm still waiting on a couple big ones. This is the worst I've ever got caught up in Comic-Con purchases was this year. I never dude, some years I don't even buy anything.
Yeah. That's usually me. Yeah. No, I made some purchases, and then actually the first time you and I talked, we were on a stream. I was talking about the Turtle 4-pack from Target. And that's like my new thing where I'll buy something and then I'll think about it. I'll be like, all right, let me just see if I do need it, see if it fits the collection, all that. So I made some Comic-Con purchases, and since then have canceled some of them because I'm like, I know I'm going to open it and then it's going to go either in a bin or in my door thing that's back here. Because now my shelves are mainly like retro, like not necessarily retro, but like characters from the 80s, Turtles, and like vehicles I wish I could own, Knight Rider, stuff like that. So what did come in that I showed you before, you also got yours, we didn't open it, is the Kino San Diego Comic-Con exclusive from NECA for Turtles 2. So I'm excited to open this one. I'll do a video on it. And the funny thing that my fiance pointed out, on the back, they have like a grease stain, like it is an actual like New York pizza box.
I just
Yeah,
saw
dude. I was gonna say you're making me hungry. Like
Yeah.
now I want a pizza, dude.
Yeah, it's great. So I'm excited to open this one. But yeah, I had ordered the Batman Mark McFarlane box, canceled it. And then the Razor Ramon Shawn Michaels I canceled. Otherwise, I think I have still, well, the Turtles when they show up, that'll be, from there. Oh, and it wasn't an exclusive, but the Peter Parker and Alexander Smythe or whatever from from Spider-Man. Yeah, so that's still coming.
Yeah, I've been really good. The only thing I thought I was gonna order was excuse me, was the Ghost. But contrary to people's popular belief, even though I went on here and said I was gonna get it, I'm still having second thoughts, so I have not done it yet.
I'm such a bad influence with that one
because I know Jose General Kenobi thinks I'm going to order 5, and that's not my style. I wouldn't even order 2; it would be 1 at the most. But I'm not sure because it doesn't. If this makes sense, and it probably will to you guys, it just doesn't hit me the way I need to be hit for something for Star Wars. Does that make sense? Like it doesn't give me what I like. I thought it would, but it didn't give me like the oomph like a Death Star would have, or like an Ewok village would have, or something like that. Which a Death Star HasLab would be my ultimate, man. It just hasn't hit me yet, and we have like 30 some days left.
Yeah.
I may, but I don't know. I may just take my chance on getting it later on, like I did with the Razor Crest, because I missed out on that. I don't know.
I'm
torn, man.
My thing is like a $500 vintage collection toy. It doesn't add up to me.
That too, but I like things that give me a memory or some kind of like I know when I see it, like I want to be hit with it in the face, and I know I gotta have it.
I'm gonna laugh when they blow this shit up, this ship up right away in the
I love the I love the show. I love it, but I just don't know if it hits me the way the original trilogy does, in a way that Mando and Boba Fett and all those things do. It just doesn't. I don't think for me right now, 30 days before, I don't think it. If I was gonna do anything, I would get the Anakin Skywalker hot toy with the real hair before that, because that would be more like that hits me more. But I don't know. I don't know.
I was contemplating the Joker.
That's another nice one. Yeah.
I talked about it Well, I've talked about the crowdfunding thing for a couple weeks now on my show, and this past week, I admitted I was like, you know what? I feel like I'm being overly negative because at the same time, I'm like, are these companies taking advantage of, in some ways, the addiction that we have? And there's some people that have no control over it, and I think they don't care about that. Now, when it comes to the ghost, what I talked about this past Monday is a lot of times people forget when that show came out, we all shit on it. Like we were all like, there were highlights like the second season when Vader showed up, like when Maul shows up, like there were highlights of that show. But when it was episodic and we were going Friday by Friday, like that show was getting dragged through the mud.
Yeah.
And
I mean, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
Because
but
like look at Clone Wars. Everybody loved that from the beginning.
Yeah.
But
Well,
Rebels,
from second season.
yes,
When they realized who was watching the show.
yes.
They were
But
like, oh, okay.
Rebels was one of those ones that some people never even heard of it until later on.
Exactly.
And then they were like shitting on it, like you said.
Yeah.
But and I'm not talking shit on it at all. I do enjoy it because I enjoy everything Star Wars. But I just, like I said, I just don't know if it hits me hard enough for me to warrant spending $500 on something when I can go get something else that hits me better. If that makes sense.
Honestly surprised at how fast it got back. I was just wondering too, did it maybe get back so fast because there's been so many failed Star Wars?
Well, I think here's the real reason right here.
All jumped on board.
I was about to say what Seth said. Exactly what Seth said. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
this
agree.
This
with
is a money making
100%.
opportunity, Yeah.
That's where as YouTubers, I feel like we have a responsibility. And I remember talking about it with Century one time, where he's like, we have to be aware of the power we have. And if we're sitting here hyping up something that we really don't want, but we're like hyping it anyway, there are other people who are going to be like, oh, that's cool, I should buy it. Like, it's funny. I had my fiance with me at New York Comic Con, and we saw Seth, and I was like, oh, that's the guy to blame for like a storage unit full of stuff. Because
half our shit.
Because he would find something,
bastard.
He's excited about it. And inherently you're like, oh wow, like I want to be that excited. I'm gonna go look for that too, And the thing is, like I said before, with the kind of addiction type thing to it, there are people who can't identify that at $500, maybe you should really think about it.
Yeah.
But they're just like, no, I'm watching these videos, people are getting hyped up and whatever.
Yeah.
And I put that challenge out where I was like, you know what? All these people who are backing, because again, this is all in the same month. The people who are backing the Ghosts, Cat Slayer, and they were trying to back the freaking they're trying to back the Jurassic Park.
You're too easy to blame, dude.
Exactly. when all of those start to ship, people need to be like, show me where it is, like unbox it and show me where it's going in your house.
Yeah. Right. I mean, like, and I'll give you an example. So the Razor Crest that I did not get, because I love Mandalorian.
Right.
I didn't pick up the Razor Crest when it came out, but I got it this year at ICCC, and it's unboxed right over here. Yeah. I could show you.
Yeah.
But the perfect example. So you got myself, Kenobi, and JB, who all love Star Wars, who are not 100% vested in this.
Yeah.
We're not even 50 probably percent vested in this. And it was exciting when it first got announced.
Right.
And I was all amped up and I'm like, I got to get it. And then I sat back and thought about it, as JB has said he's done, as Kenobi's doing.
Yep.
And we're not all saying we're not going to get it, but
you're thinking about it.
It's a tough decision because it's not something that is hitting us, I guess.
Well, that's a big chunk of money.
It is.
For one thing.
And
my kids,
one thing.
My kids, Power Wheel freaking land speeder was cheaper than that.
Yeah.
And I'm the perfect example of, you can wait and then pick it up at the end of a con for cheaper. I mean, I did it. I got it $50 over retail.
Yeah.
The Razor Crest. And I came across it like by luck and just waited to the end and seen what was happening. It went down from, there was 2 of them, then there was 1 left, and you can get it. You can get it later. You don't have to get it right now. You don't have to. I mean, you don't have to go crazy over it. But
my boy Anthony, because So Anthony, myself, Steve, who's in the chat, we're gonna be Ghostbusters at New York Comic Con this year.
Nice.
And Steve had backed the HasLab. He got that long time ago. Myself and Anthony did not. Anthony's a huge Ghostbusters fan. For some reason, he wasn't into collecting at that point. And he's like, shit, I wish I would have got it. And we literally just poked around, just asking people. And he found one for cost. Because people overbought them because they're like, oh, I could flip this thing. And then it's like, there's only so many people willing to spend that kind of money on something. But after seeing that thing, I was like, that's $450. Like, even now, as I'm building a spirit pack, but I look at the Hasbro one, I'm like, that's worth $400, $500. The ghosts, that ain't $400 or $500.
No,
not when I see what they could do at the same price.
I agree 100%. I don't know how long these huge vehicle like HasLabs can go on for. I mean, who's going to keep buying these things? Where can you fit them?
That's what I'm
saying. I don't.
That's the other thing. Like, if I did get it,
there's no way.
That's the other thing. If I did get it, it would probably stay in the box somewhere. I don't know where I would put it. Like, I had to really think about. I had to buy a little coffee table to put the damn Razor Crest on.
Yeah.
Like, and that's not something I really wanted to do, but I wanted it. I didn't want it in the box.
Yeah.
You know, and
like, I really want that Hot Toys '89 Batmobile, but I'm like, where am I going to put it? Where the hell am I going to put it?
Tough, especially with the slanted walls I have. Like, I don't even have room on top of my DTOS for a whole lot of shit.
One of my most popular TikTok videos is when they announced that vehicle by the algorithm, I was shown another vehicle from that movie. And in that TikTok, I was saying, I've never felt so poor in my life than when I saw the Batman '89 1/6 scale Batwing for like, I can't remember. Maybe it was like $2,000. $2,000 or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, not 1/12 scale, 1/6 scale.
Oh yeah, 1/6. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah.
That thing is amazing. But I was like,
where the hell are you gonna put that?
But that company at least gives you a wall mount.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because you're gonna need a whole wall.
But it looks so good. But to your point, Joe, like, that movie pulls nostalgia, it pulls feel. It's a vehicle that you loved. I mean, that iconic scene where it breaks the clouds and hits the moon. There's no iconic scenes with a ghost. I don't care what anybody says. Like, again, cool show, cool things happen. Unfortunately, they break out the whole time travel type thing, but it's not a Falcon. It's not a Falcon. It's not an X-Wing. It's not even a Vader's TIE Interceptor. It's just, I don't know. But hey, again, what do we know? Because it backed in freaking.
It did
24 hours.
There's a lot of people who love it, and I don't hate it. I love it, but I don't know if I love it enough.
Exactly.
But a Death Star.
Are they just fiending for a Star Wars HasLab because they haven't had one in so long?
And this is the best. This is the best one that come along for a while.
What was the deal? The day before, people were posting pictures at Comic-Con of the Ewok village, and then all of a sudden, like the next day, they dropped the Ghost HasLab. I'm like, well, what the hell was up with the Ewok village in the HasLab case?
Yeah, they were teasing.
I get it.
But I think people also are feeling, there's some people who, you lucked out. You found the Razor Crest after the fact. There's people who randomly found Jabba's sand barge or sail barge, but there are some people who just have not, and they're like, you know what? I'm not missing out this time. I'm doing it. I'm not missing out this time.
And that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, and to each their own. I just don't know if I'll be that desperate to find it. Like, even the Razor Crest, I wasn't desperate. I didn't go to ICCC looking for the Razor Crest. Right. It was just sitting there staring at me the whole weekend. And then it kept going down in price. And I said, look, you're at this. Would you take this to not take it home? And the guy said, yeah.
Exactly.
And after I wiped myself up, I was like, I'll be right back.
I saw that video, man. You walked with confidence, that thing.
Yeah. So, it just happened. All the moons, everything aligned.
Yeah,
and it was the perfect time. It doesn't happen every day. So if they want to get it, by all means, if you have the money to get it, get it. You love it, get it. Everybody has their own thing, but I just don't know. And I'm not gonna lie. If it was the Death Star, if they ever do a Death Star HasLab, I'm in. I'll be the first one to back that. I would love
I
that.
think there's the only way they could do it is if they did like a section. They could only. I
Yes.
mean, there's no way.
Yeah, I mean, they could have a nice little stand on it, and you could put it in the middle of the table. You know, I mean, I have some ideas if they want them.
If they partnered,
call me. You know,
if they partnered with whichever company it is that makes the micro galaxy,
mm-hmm.
and they're like, "Well, HasLab this thing, it'll scale to those, you know," and it's well, even that you can't scale to. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. Sorry, am I allowed to curse on here? Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Fuck yeah.
It's the only way to get your point across.
Yeah.
Oh well, that fucking figures. What do you think?
I was gonna say, because even thinking about the Hot Wheels ones, like even those, there's no way like you can. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you
just
do
give me
that.
a basketball-sized Death Star, and I'll be happy. I won't. That'll be it for me. I'll retire.
No, they're gonna. No, they saw that the Cat's Lair backed, and now they're gonna have to try to one up it.
Yep.
For me, the Death Star is just such a symbolic for Star Wars, like a symbolic, you know, just a piece of Star Wars. That's just me. Maybe nobody else would back it. I don't know, but for me, it would hit me.
But because Disney's involved, they're gonna give you the Star Killer base instead.
Yeah. Yep. They're gonna give me stuff that's more modern and prequel and all that stuff that they want to do. But yeah.
Like we were talking about earlier.
Each their own. You know.
It's like we don't want the new stuff. Give me the old stuff.
Yep.
I don't know. The one thing I'm really dying for that I saw at Comic-Con is those damn Bloodsport figures.
Oh,
I don't care. I'm buying them.
Man,
I'm already decided.
Yeah,
all in.
But they got to go all in. This is not a half-ass. They got to give us all the characters from the Kumite. Like,
oh yeah,
and build a set. What's his face? There's oh my god, what's his name? There's a guy who does dioramas, drip mode dioramas. He did the Kumite set one day or one episode, whatever. That was dope. That was freaking dope. And that company needs to do one of those now that they're making that.
Yeah, that the company that's doing those, that was Syndicate, they came out swinging. They got everything they had on their booth was just Yep,
yeah.
Mullen.
Were they the ones doing Biker Mice also?
No, Biker Mice is Nacelle or whatever.
Yeah, that I want to go for.
Yeah, that I'm on the fence with that one. Like I don't know. It's hard. I don't know if I'll get sucked in or not. We'll see.
I just remember having all three and the bikes, you know, like the nostalgia thing again. So that the Bucky O'Hare, I wish I had grabbed that. I think Mighty Max. I think so many things that like I had back in the day that I would take a modern version for sure.
Oh, I wish they would do some new Mighty Max. I loved those things growing up. I like the turtle versions and everything. Like, oh man, yeah. They need to bring those back.
There was Star Wars ones of those. I had R2-D2, I think, and when you opened him up, it was Jabba's palace from Return of the Jedi, and that one, and it had a sliding thing so you can like drop Luke into the Rancor pit.
Those things were cool. They the way I don't know, I just loved them. They were cool. I wish I don't even have any of them from growing up. I don't know what happened to any of my stuff from growing up.
Gave it all away,
right? Yeah. Somebody
unfortunately,
secretly.
Yeah.
Is that a gremlin behind you, by the way?
Yeah.
I love that.
There's two of them.
That's our mascot. Everybody comments on that thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
There's the Flash. I just brought the Flasher in there. He was out in my living room on the table.
Nice.
Dude, you got to get back in here.
Yeah. That's great in the living room.
Yeah.
That's where my wife draws the line. She's like, keep that shit upstairs, but I'm okay with you getting it. Keep it upstairs, you know.
Well, the Flasher, when his arms stick out so far, so you're always like, you're trying to walk around. Like, so I was like, dude, you're going out here for a while, but I don't know, hopefully he's more out of the way now.
What was the, I'm going to pretend like it's my show for a second. What, for each of you, what was the line that like got you into collecting, or have you just been doing it the whole time? Meaning like since you were a kid.
I always collected movies, like, you know, but then I started working at Toys R Us part-time, and actually NECA Predators
Oh, so good.
brought me into
Mhm.
collecting.
Yeah.
And then once I actually once I had like all the NECA Predator waves pretty much,
Mhm.
I transferred into Hot Toys Predators, and I wasn't collecting
Ooh.
any small scale stuff anymore. And then when
Mhm.
NECA started doing the turtles, it brought me back in. So now I
Yeah.
I keep saying once the turtles are done, I'm going back to my large scale stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, for me it was like definitely I had a lot of vintage Star Wars way back. I had the little cases with them all lined up inside.
Mhm.
So I really wish I still had those. I had the old LJN wrestling figures,
Mhm.
comic books, baseball cards my dad got me into, and Matchbox and Hot Wheels cars when I was a kid too. I've
Mhm.
always collected things. And then as I got older, when I had my son, we started collecting together. And then when
Oh,
he
nice.
passed, I gave it up for a while because I just
Sorry to hear that.
thank you. Sorry about it. It is, it's tough, but I gave it up for a while, and then during the pandemic, I was like, like I'm getting, like everybody else, man, I was getting bored, and
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking, like I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he's like, I was like, man, I really wish I had my old LJN again, and he was like, well, why can't you? And I'm like, and so
Mm.
he started it all. So here I am, I'm looking on Whatnot and
Mhm.
eBay and different stores and different things, and I started picking up little by little, and then it just escalated. And now I've gotten out of wrestling again for the most part. I'm trying to
Mhm.
unload a lot of those, but like Star Wars, I'm always been into. So yeah, I've always collected. I took a little break in between, when things happened, but as I got bored around the pandemic, I started picking up again, and then I don't even know, like one day I just got on YouTube and started looking up like toy stuff, and I'm like
Mm.
collectible stuff, and I came across this thing called toy hunting, and I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And then like I said, I think Seth was one of the first ones. Greg
Mhm.
Cook was another
Mhm.
one. OG Geek, and I'm like,
Mhm.
what? These people, like, people watch this. Like, I'm watching it, so I know there's like all
Yeah.
these people watching it. Like, so then it just escalated from there, man. But it's, it's been a hell of a ride, man. I met some really awesome people like yourselves. All the people in the
Mhm.
chat,
Mhm.
many others, and I couldn't be happier, like for like what I'm doing and the time I'm having. Because when I walk in this room, I just have so many memories now, and it just hits me, and I love that.
Yeah.
Like you guys do, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
your favorite place in the house, I'm guaranteeing. So
Mhm.
it's fun, man. I wouldn't give it up for the world.
Yeah. No,
Yes. How about
it's
you?
um it's like a perfect storm. So
Mm,
I had seen this picture online of Raph and Leo facing off in the rain, and the photo is like just like that much of their
mhm,
faces, and there's like rain on them. And I was like, I don't remember that scene from the movie. Like, what the like? I remember, they fought in the CGI movie, but I was like, I don't remember the scene from that movie, but it looks like the movie Turtles. And sure enough, it was the NECA
mm,
Turtles. I had no idea they made them. I was like, oh man, those are dope. I don't even know where to get them. And it's
mm,
funny, like years later, I remember going to Walmart when I lived in this old condo, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna see if they have them. And I went there, they didn't, and I didn't know there was a whole NECA section and a collectible section. I would always just randomly go into the toy section. So I was like, yeah, whatever. You fast forward some years, hit the pandemic, and freaking OG Geek video
mhm.
as a suggested, and I'm like, oh, what's this? And then
Yep.
him and Seth are going around. This guy's yelling, "What's popping?" all over the place. And I was like, this is kind of entertaining. I was like, oh wow, that's cool. I didn't know they made this. That's cool. Blah blah. Blah. And then, like you said, Greg Cook
Mhm,
pops in the
mhm,
algorithm then,
mhm.
and I just went on one hunt, found something, and that freaking shot of endorphins, whatever hits you, and I
Yeah,
was like, all
man.
right, gonna go find some more stuff. And
Yeah.
it was all to try to get the turtles. Like at the end of the day, at that point, I was like, I'm just trying to find these 2-pack turtles that I keep seeing in all these Florida hunt videos, and couldn't find them. But I kept hunting and I kept buying stuff, and then sure as shit, I find this guy on a Facebook group who's like, oh, like I'll sell it to you for cost. like the 2-packs. I was like, great. I bought them. I opened them up on my vlog. Actually, it was like season 3 of my vlog when I was doing it. Opened them up.
Yeah.
Next day, go on a hunt. Bastards in Walmart.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
It's
how it
funny you
goes.
say that though, because like when I got back into it in 2020, here I am. I'm on Marketplace, and I remember specifically I messaged this guy about these wrestling figures, and he said, "All right, well, meet me at the Wawa." So I drove about 10, 15 minutes to the Wawa, and it was like flurrying out, snowing out, and here I am checking out the back of his Durango, and he had a shitload of wrestling figures. He had the Masters of the Universe, Stone Cold and Hogan, I think it was, it new in box. And I was like, "How much do you want for that?" Because I didn't know what it was worth. You know,
Right.
he said $20, and I'm like, "All right, well, he's giving me all this stuff for like really crazy deals." And I just bought so much stuff that day. I went home and I had the whole back of the truck full. And my wife's like, "What the hell did you do?" I'm like, "I got all this for like $150, and it was a ridiculous amount of stuff."
Yeah.
But I don't know why he was getting. I guess he was done with it or whatever. But that Stone Cold Masters of the Universe set was going for like $200-300 if I'm not mistaken. It was up there.
Yeah.
And I did sell that, to be honest. I didn't. I had to. I was like, I'm not into this. I'm like, let me get rid of this thing.
Yeah.
Make some money on it. Hey, why not? But it was weird the way it happened. I was, the guys with the jewelry who opened the trench coat. That's how this guy was with his wrestling figures.
The
in
flasher.
The back of it. Yeah, he was kind of like that with his Dodge Durango. Man, he just opened the back up, and there it was. And we're getting like flurried on, and it was ridiculous. But that's where for me it started. Like, all right, I got all these wrestling figures now. Now I need to get some detox. I need to do this. I need to do that, and then it escalates. And here we are today when.
Yeah,
I got this major shit. So I can't even move. I was telling you backstage, I bump my head on shit all the time, and can't even move in here anymore. So, but it's fun. Yep.
Yeah, too much fun.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Dude, I've been getting really good with it though. Like you were saying earlier, like you just if I even when it comes to clearance stuff, like if it's on clearance, that means I didn't want it enough to buy it at full price. So I'm just not buying it anymore. Clearance means nothing to me anymore.
And I've been guilty of buying things on clearance that I really wasn't into before. I think we all have, but at some point you get to that point where you're like, I can live without this. I don't really want this. Why just buy it for the hell of it? You can take that $5 and put it towards something you really want later on or whatever, and it makes more sense for you. But I mean, clearance is great, man. It's like, if you are into some things and it goes on clearance, if you're a wrestling collecting fan,
those are the
you
best.
don't need to pay for the price ever anymore. Ever.
Yeah.
Because in a week they go clearance.
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of gave up on it, because besides the ultimates that rarely go on clear, if you're buying those elites or stuff like that, it's like I've seen them go in a week to $659, even in my area, and I'm like, it's not that I'm buying them to make money, but like you are, this is a collection. You want it to be worth something someday. I mean, no lie, right? So I don't know. It's just, for me, I don't want to go buying a $20 figure that's going to be $6 in 2 weeks or whatever. It just doesn't make sense for me anymore.
Yeah. I did buy so I have this rule now where if it's a line or a figure that I want more of, I buy it at full price, because I want to contribute to the shelves clearing of that figure, and then maybe they order more. The company's like, oh, they must really like this one. So I got Razor Ramon for clearance because I was like, they're gonna keep making Razor. Like, that's not.
He's not iconic too. Yeah, he's an ultimate. Ultimates are okay. Like ultimate, I like them. It's just I had to put an end to something, and I still love wrestling, but I just don't love the wrestling figures anymore.
Yeah, but I saw when they announced they're doing like the Nation of Domination, and I was like, I want that. I want more of that. So I went. I found D'Lo Brown, bought him full price, even though I know he'll be on clearance in week, 2 weeks. But I was like, you know what? I was like, I want more of this. So I'm just going to show my support, buy this one at full price. If I see The Godfather, I'll buy him at full price. Other stuff, yeah, I can wait.
Yeah,
I agree though,
and
because
yeah,
if everybody's waiting for clearance, they're not going to
Exactly.
continue to make the stuff.
Right,
So it's
Yeah.
all going to backfire on all these people eventually.
Yeah.
true.
If you're doing it on
you-
things that you love, it's
Yeah.
a gamble. It's a real
Yeah,
gamble.
I mean, and Nation of Domination was another groundbreaking faction.
Yep.
I mean, there are certain things that you did back then like that you probably could not do today.
Yeah.
You know?
No, and it's one of those. Yeah, I always talk about representation. Like as a kid growing up, like seeing like a faction of people who look like me on screen, like wrestling icons like Stone Cold Steve Austin, like that meant something. So I was like, if those figures come out, I'm buying them. Like I need to buy. If they ever make a Savio Vega like Ultimate or Elite, whatever, I'm probably just gonna buy 5 of them just because I'm like, as a Puerto Rican kid, and he came out and freaking hair all over his back, and I'm like, why is the guy so hairy? And I grew up and now I'm hairy. I'm like, that's just the Puerto Rican thing, you know. Like I'm buying 10 of them bitches.
Yeah, I mean, look at the Godfather. I mean, he was the Godfather. He was Kama Mustafa. He was Papa Shango. I mean, the man made some money and he made some memories and he made some toys. So it's like, I mean, he knew what he was doing and they knew how to market him, like no matter what. I love Papa Shango character. I liked all them little weirdo characters back in the day. Because without those, I mean, you'd have some boring Hasbro figures for one.
For sure.
Oh man, I miss our old wrestling. Every character was so different. Like they just
and you know it's funny when Brother Love walked out with the Undertaker at Survivor Series 1990, and I was thinking to myself, what the hell is this? This is not going to last. Boy, was I wrong, right?
Oh yeah.
Like I'm like, who's this guy? Brother Love walking him down, and then they eventually got him away from him and brought in Percival Pringle and called him Paul Bearer, and that made it so much better. And boy, was I wrong, because WCW didn't give that man a chance. You know,
no.
Like as Mean Mark Callis, they didn't do anything. They didn't see any potential.
Yeah,
but McMahon, say what you want about him, but the man knows how to get the potential out of people for sure.
Yeah, if
whether
you're willing
like or not, whether you like the gimmick or not, you know,
right? But you also have to. One of the things I liked, Jericho did an interview one time, and he was saying that he had no issue pushing back at Vince, and he's like, if you push back at Vince, he will challenge you and tell you do what he says. But if you fully believe in what you're saying, he will go for it. And I think there's a lot of wrestlers out there that prove that he did not create, you know, and you think of a Stone Cold, like Stone Cold did that shit on his own. Like Vince had his idea, but Vince didn't tell him to say Austin 316 says I whipped your ass. Like, that was all him.
Yeah,
you know?
well, and that was because he faced Jake the Snake Roberts, and he was into that religion thing right then.
Yeah.
That's when he did that, and it changed wrestling forever.
Forever.
Without that promo, I don't even know if they would be here today. WWE, I don't know. It changed everything forever. And if it was here, it wouldn't be as popular as it was in the late 90s with the Attitude Era and all that.
Yeah,
for sure.
It was. I remember vividly being on my street, and we're outside playing, and one of my friends, he's like, "Oh, I got to go home because wrestling's coming on," and I was like, "Oh, like Hulk Hogan or whatever." He's like, "Nah, man." He's like, "The new stuff," and I'm like, "Oh, I don't know." So I go home, and it was it WCW Saturday Afternoon or whatever it was called. It would come on like, I remember it would come on after cartoons, and like it'd be like WMAC Masters wrestling, and then like some other show.
Oh, I remember that. Yep.
Yeah, so I put it on, and first match, this like creepy long hair dude with brown clothes comes out, and he's ripping his own hair out and yelling at the screen. I'm like, what is this thing? And then he rams some guy into the barricade and takes his hand and shoves it in the guy's throat and starts yelling, and the guy throws up. And I'm like literally scared. I'm like sitting there literally afraid. And they're like, "Oh my God, Mankind's gonna kill him. He's gonna kill him." And I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Give me more.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. was a
And see,
Mankind match.
I don't know if like you watched before that, but did you know Mankind when he was Cactus Jack in WCW?
And that was the
Because I love that gimmick too.
That was the best part about not having the internet.
Mhm.
Is, you know, you're sitting there, you get like the wrestling magazine, but then there's always that one friend or that one cousin who's like, yo, did you see this DVD or not DVD, this VHS?
Yep.
And you're like, what? And he's like, this thing called ECW. And like, what is that? And I'm like, holy shit, they bleed in every match. Like,
and you know what?
You see Cactus Jack in that.
Growing up in Delaware, I was very fortunate to be able to go to the ECW arena many times and watch it live, and I loved it. It was so much fun to go there. But
I did not know about that at first.
I remember even far back as like when WCW had their Saturday night show. It was 6:05.
Yep.
And it came on right after one of my favorite shows of all time, Small Wonder.
Small Wonder.
You remember that show?
That? No.
It was a little girl robot. It was a sitcom, and she would
This
just
sounds great.
Oh, it is. But you know, you got to think early '80s. You know, I'm a little 13-year-old. I'm a nerd. You know, whatever. And I'm like, hey, she talks like a robot. She acts like a robot. Look it up. It's a corny show. Yeah. But that was on first, and then WCW Saturday Night. But Small Wonder also has a very catchy tune too. I would sing it to you, but it's too late for that.
I'm honestly scared. I don't even know if I want to look up.
Dude, look it up. Look it up, man. There's some. You'd be surprised where these people started. Look Small Wonder up.
Yeah.
Look a show called 15 up on Nickelodeon, and that's where Ryan and Reynolds started.
Oh.
It was a little Canadian Saved by the Bell type show.
Yeah.
So you know, like when I found out Ryan Reynolds was getting bigger and bigger and bigger, I'm like, I used to watch him on 15. It was a little corny show like Saved by the Bell, even worse. Than Saved by the Bell. But you never know, man. These they had to start somewhere. Although I never seen Vicki Lawrence, the Small Wonder, anywhere else besides that one show. So it was a one and done for her.
Looking at the picture from the show, I can see why.
with the red and white dress. Yeah. Hey, but you know what? Back then, I only watched it to lead into wrestling.
Yeah.
But then I just watched it every week because it was leading into wrestling.
Yeah. So you kept lying to yourself. You're like, it's only. I'm only here an hour early because I want to make sure
I'm only here for wrestling. Small Wonder, yes.
Just in case they start early this week, you know.
You never know.
You never know. Shit, they were 6:05. It was a weird time. I'm like, what is with the 6:05 shit? Like TBS did. But yeah, Small Wonder, man. Small Wonder was on 5:05 to 6:05, then wrestling.
Yeah.
Awesome lineup.
I tell you, man, I've said it before on my show. Like, these kids don't understand. Like, if you missed it, that was it. Like, if you were not there and then that's also where like the buildup was so good. Like, I remember, as you said, you know, WCW Saturday Night, the immediate thing that comes into my brain when I think WCW Saturday Night is I can't even remember his name now, but essentially like the Sub-Zero guy. Remember those?
Four
Horsemen, but the Sub-Zero dude.
Wasn't his name the Gladiator too, or something? He was something else.
I don't remember, but I remember them.
Gladiators, though. That's another show, dude.
American Gladiators, yeah.
Oh man.
But I remember them hyping up this dude making his premiere like for weeks. And every week I'd sit there and watch WCW Saturday Night because I'm like, oh, is this the day that like Sub-Zero is going to come out? Like, it's going to happen now. And then something happens. You go tell your friends at school they missed it.
His name was Glacier.
Glacier. There you
That's
go.
it. Yeah, Glacier. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know what happened to that guy, but
it was a Sub-Zero character. Actually, he was what was he? General Parker. He was like a Sergeant General Parker or something like that was his first gimmick, and then they changed them all up and put the robotic eye and and then they tried to do that. What was his name? The tugboat from WWF. They brought him in to be the Seth just got who was it that just got this toy? No, it was Big Dub just got this toy from somebody. It was he had a Stormtrooper helmet, and he comes out and he falls and he trips and you never see him again. I forget his name, but he had like a Stormtrooper silver helmet on.
Yeah,
and I forget what his name is, but Big Dub just got his toy for a gift like last week on his show. But he comes out, he trips and falls, and then you never Shockmaster. That's it. Thanks, man. Collects.
That's
welcome
funny.
to the show, brother.
That's
with
funny.
the Shockmaster. But they introduce him because he's known as Tugboat and Typhoon, whatever the hell. He had all these different
Typhoon.
names. He had and Tugboat, and he
Mhm.
had all these names in WWF. Then he comes over there, and WCW is like, all right, well, we're gonna make him the Shockmaster. They put the Stormtrooper helmet on. They introduce him. He comes out. He falls flat on his face, and that's it. You never see him again. It's funny as shit.
Yeah.
So WCW wasn't as good with doing that kind of stuff. Like even when Goldust went over to WCW after the fact, they tried to name him Platinum and it didn't work or something like that.
Oh my God, it's terrible.
And he came out all silver and he got on the mic and he was like, you know what? Screw this. I just left this type of shit. And he threw the mic down and he quit right on TV. It was real.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, talking about like not being able to do the research, but being like, oh man, like my friend knows this or saw this match, whatever. Like them having the luchadors and the cruiserweight division, like I remember being like, man, like I wish I could just get like my hands on like some footage of them fighting in Mexico or whatever. And then again, you have that one friend who's like, oh, I found this VHS and that's Rey Mysterio back there, or that's Juventud Guerrero back there, and you're like, oh my God, that's so cool. Like, and there was this mystique to everything because you only went by what you saw on the show or what you saw in a magazine. Because again, you couldn't pull the internet.
Because like they would have like, so say like, remember when Ric Flair made the jump to WWF and he was the real world champion, and they would blur the belt out when he first got on TV. He had the big gold belt, but they wouldn't show it. They would blur it out.
Oh, I don't remember that part.
Yeah, and like back then, when you get the magazine, it says breaking news: Ric Flair to WWF, and it's like, well, that shit happened a month and a half ago. Like, it's not like now where you hear about it a month and a half in advance.
In advance, yeah.
You hear it like a month and a half, 2 months after the fact. You're like, yeah, he's already like been there,
Yeah.
But nobody will ever understand that. But it was more fun because everything wasn't ruined. I like the surprises back then. Like I had no idea Bobby Heenan was bringing Ric Flair out with the WCW belt. Like I almost shit myself. Like that's the WCW belt, but they're blurring it out. And finally they got permission to use it, and they unblurred it, and then they used it for years and years to come.
Right.
But I remember that shit, man. Like they wouldn't even call him Nature Boy at first. They just called him the real world champion, Ric Flair. And then they eventually like eased into it, and McMahon gave in. But it's a lot of memories, man.
Yeah. And that's why we collecting stuff,
Yeah. And that's why I say with the Ghost, the memory's not hitting me. So that's why I'm on pause. So that's a perfect example of why, because it's not hitting me like that. But who knows?
So this whole episode came down to you figuring out you don't need the Ghost.
I've been thinking about it for how many weeks now?
But we really broke it down this episode. So
I think I probably won't. I'll probably take I probably won't. I think if I haven't gotten it yet, I don't know. I really probably don't need it or have anywhere to put it anyway. So
I don't get who's picking these HasLabs over at. I mean, yeah, this one's gonna succeed, but to me, it's still just not like this isn't like something I would have picked.
Yeah.
Granted, I don't know. Just they are
especially
a new group of people, but
especially on a year where it's the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi, you think they would pick something maybe from that?
Yeah.
I don't know. That just would make more sense, but I guess they know what they're doing because I'm sitting here talking to you and they're over there making how many millions of dollars already on this thing. So,
but actually, you know what? Let me pull it up right now to see.
Not that talking to you is not great or anything, but you're not $1 million either. But
well, they're only at. So they're at 93.81, and they need
8,000. So even
well, to get to the next tier, you need 11.
What's the highest tier?
The higher. So I was talking about this week too on the show. The highest tier is 17,000.
Oh wow!
And I was saying I don't think they're going to get that.
No.
What I think they should do is maybe a week out is they just open up all the tiers and say, hey, you know what, guys? You back this. This is a record. 24 hours. This thing backed. We're just gonna give you all the figures on card. Like, don't even because people were speculating like, oh, what's gonna be like a new stretch goal because they've done that before. I'm I'm like, you know what? I think everybody who wants it for the most part has backed it, and they might as well just say, you know, just so they don't look like they failed.
Right.
Just be
Yeah.
like, hey, you know what? Fastest crowdfund ever. We're unlocking all the tiers, unlike those other. I would wrestling promo this thing, and by coincidence, to knock on a wrestling crowdfund. I'd be like, unlike those other people, we're not gonna unlock the tiers because we're not gonna make it. We're gonna unlock all the tiers because we did make it, and we appreciate you guys. Boom.
Then again, we're talking about Hasbro, who charges $38 for a Black Series. So I doubt that's going to happen. But good, wishful thinking, my brother.
Yeah,
but
I don't
think
I don't
that.
like the tier garbage. Like,
No.
dude, I wanted that Jurassic Park gate. I did. I wanted that thing, but I was like, dude, maybe if it was everything that was there tier everything for the first tier, that's you know, or for the initial pack, the price $250. That would be like all. That's what it should be. I don't like this tiered crap.
Well, like JB says, if it gets to all the tiers, that's when maybe I'll consider it too. I don't know, because then you get a lot for your money at that point. A lot,
but
are
you? Because it's vintage. It's vintage.
But they're still 3 3/4. Yes, I don't know.
I mean, you're getting one figure per tier. Like, think about how many people have to buy that before you get that one figure added on.
Yeah.
Like,
But the Jurassic Park one, to your point, the second I saw that, I was like, okay, you're getting a lot of stuff for $250, whatever it was. I think it's the ridiculous price, but that's a lot of stuff. And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. These are all tiered.
Yeah.
Everything on here is a tier. Are you shit? Like, come on, man.
At least that T-Rex should have been with the gate automatically.
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't get that thing. And then they didn't even promote it or anything like at all. I didn't even know about it.
And it's not even the T-Rex from part 1.
No.
And then one more thing, you don't get Chopper either. Like, none of the tiers. I mean, I know he's built into it, but you don't get a figure. On card of Chopper, which is disappointing. That would have been nice to get.
I just don't like the tier crap. I think they should just say, "Hey, here's everything.
Yeah,
this is what you need to back it, and that's it."
The tier should be like the one tier that I didn't agree with when Hasbro was doing their Proton pack. Actually, I'm going to pull it up now just so
I mean, 17,000 is a lot. I mean,
well, they did.
Let's face it, 17,000 is reaching. That's a lot, man.
So, like the Proton pack,
that's almost double what they have. Almost.
Well, like the tiers thing doesn't make sense to me, anyways, because if you like it, you're gonna back it. But it's like, okay, everybody that wanted it, we're only at 5,000 people, but we need, 10,000 to get everything. What did they think they're going to add more to their order so that they get these? Like the tiers just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, because once you have all those tiers and you don't get them, like you got a half-ass thing now.
Yeah,
right.
Like you don't have everything you want.
So like with the Proton pack, their tiers, like the first tier I thought was kind of bullshit because the first tier was the hose to connect to the wand, which they had already released. And I'm like, you should have just given that by default.
Yeah, but that's garbage.
That's garbage. But the other tiers, I was like, those are fun. Like one of them was like the little marshmallow guys.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't make or break the Proton pack. So it's like, yeah, if we get these many people, you'll get these marshmallow dudes. And then the last tier was a stand for the pack. Again, it doesn't ruin your experience of the Proton pack. It's just a nice thing to have.
Yeah,
that's what they should be doing. Things that like are like icing to the cake, but don't make the cake. And if you're not giving people those figures separately, that should not be a stretch goal. Like those figures are owed to anybody who buys that thing.
Yeah, no, exactly. I agree.
Yeah.
Yep. I hate that whole tier garbage. It just doesn't even make sense to me.
No, not at all.
Like I get they're trying to get more people to back it, but you're not really. The people that want it are gonna back it regardless.
Exactly.
You're not. You're in my opinion, like that need to like try to get them to buy more than one unit. What I'm not gonna. That's not what we're doing here. So it just doesn't add up to me.
I did get to Joe's level though with his tank, because I was like, they keep adding some more things on here, and those figures at a normal retail price of like $25 a pop. I was like, hey, 4 figures, that's now you're technically down $100 on his tank. I was like, I could probably do this, and I ended up not. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we're getting to that point. So, hey, Archer, let everybody know where we can find you.
Yeah.
Promote
Sorry,
yourself.
I,
This is your
I, I
time.
somehow turned it into a toy conversation the whole time. even though
No,
we
no,
weren't going
that's all
to.
right. That's what we didn't want. No, I'm just kidding. We're good. No, we had a great time. That was
Yeah.
actually, that was a great time. I'm glad you came on.
Yeah,
But
I'm as it says
anybody-
down below. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. You're good.
Oh, no, say as it says down below, I'm the president, El Prez of Nerd Affiliated. You can find us at youtube.com/nerd affiliated, nerd affiliated on Instagram, and more importantly, nerdaffiliated.com to get your cool merch like your Hollywood Archer shirt.
Nice.
All there, nerdaffiliated.com.
And I did put that in the description, so
Appreciate it.
if anybody forgets that,
Yeah.
There you go.
read the section you don't read.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I can't thank you enough for being on the night, man. I know we've crossed paths a little bit on social media, but it was a pleasure meeting you. Tonight and talking to you, and hopefully we keep in touch, and maybe we can do this again at some point.
Yeah.
You're always welcome back, and you're.
Yeah, I'd love to have you guys on my show too.
Yeah, man,
make that happen.
Definitely, that'd be nice. Next week, August 9th, we have Robin and Benjamin Bowman on the show. We're gonna talk shit with them. We're gonna grill them. And we're going to talk some Star Wars and other stuff. So can't wait to have them on.
Sorry, I have to ask this question.
Yeah, sure.
Are you guys getting the Star Killer pack, or that's not happening? No. Okay.
No.
Same.
No.
I had to ask. I forgot.
Not happening.
Yeah, ridiculous.
No. I'm actually. Yeah. First thing I got to do is get my damn missing hot toy from the mail. That's first and foremost before I go spending anything else. I need that to find her.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got to figure this out. I'm gonna go on a hunt for the
hunt
UPS
for what you already
guy
bought
and get my shit. Yes, because I'm pissed. But anyway,
there's nothing worse than dealing with that. That's for sure.
Yeah, it'll work out. But anyway,
nobody wants to take responsibility for it, and
right. And I'm the least guilty in this. I'm just got my money floating out there in La La Land and shit while everybody else fights it out. And
watch him. He gets done with this whole spiel. He finds it sitting behind his freaking garbage can.
Yeah, right. No, actually, I just took my garbage can down tonight, so I know it's not back there. But I wish it was that easy, because I would definitely call the guy and say, "This shit's over. I got it." But yeah, I wish
it would be too late. They'd have already refunded you.
Yeah. What's that?
Said it would have been too late. They already refunded you and everything.
No, they didn't. That's the problem.
Like, you turn around and it's sitting there. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's torture, man. I was really looking forward to that one. She looked like that's probably the best hot toy in a long time, the most realistic. But anyway, like I said, next week, Robin and Benjamin Bowman, they'll be on the show 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on Well That FM Figures. As for now, this is What FM Figures, and we will see you next week. We'll talk to you backstage for a minute, and we'll let you go. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Good job, Colin. Good job, Archer.
Later.